Good evening and welcome to Guna Matters. Your opinion matters. And tonight, Warren van Schoor and Nazim, I don't know your surname, but yeah,
Let's leave it at that.
these are the panelists for tonight. We're missing another person and hopefully he come in soon. Warren, welcome back. How are you,
Hi,
man? You back
Clement.
at work?
Yeah, thanks for having me on, pal. Appreciate it. I'm always up for chat, footy chat. That goes without saying. Yeah, back at work this week. Yeah, kind of hit me like a brick. Monday it was all. Gee, well, I didn't know my head. You know, but things have cooled down a bit then and caught up and done the necessary stuff. But yeah, no. Um, Good to be back on the show, man. Talking footy with my fellow Guna brothers.
Great. Always nice to have you. Nazim, welcome back to you. Your second time here. I think it's your second time.
Yeah. Actually, I haven't been on here for a few weeks now, but yeah,
Yeah,
it's always
welcome
always
back.
nice to be invited.
Yeah. First of all, I just want to honor your family member by giving a minute of silence just for her or him, or I'm not sure
Yeah,
what sex it
so,
is,
so
just to honor the passing of that person.
thank you, man.
All right, welcome back. That is what they do in the game. If somebody has passed on, I'm sure,
Yeah.
Yeah.
just to honor that person. And yeah, all the best, and I hope all the best for the family as well. So yeah, let's
Thanks,
get
man.
into it. Let's get into it. First of all, my question was Arteta in or Arteta out? And please don't rush. Take your time. Obviously, I had some thought, some time to think about it. And I used the doors, as you could see, as a
I saw ya.
yeah, the one door opens and the one door shuts. So it's it's actually sad, and I'm not a Arteta out person. You know what I mean? I like the guy. I love what he has done at the club, and I mean I got a bit of flack on Facebook from a couple other groups, being called idiot and all sorts of things because the fans of Arsenal are hard to please fans. I mean, I don't know. But nonetheless, Nazim, let's start with you. What is your take on what's happening at Arsenal at this stage?
Um, like you said, man, our fans are hard. We are impatient. Um, we, I mean, a couple of weeks ago, everybody loved the guy. 2 weeks later, everybody's on his case. He must go. Yeah, it's. I mean, we we treating him okay, not as bad as we did Wenger. I mean, that was uncalled for. Um, but yeah, I mean, you need to give the guy a chance. Young squad. I mean, we basically totally rebuilt the club in 2 years. Young team, young manager, um, different mindset, different idea. I think this is the. I mean, I was thinking about it the other day. This is the project youth that Wenger wanted, and it just didn't go his way. And yes, we said that we not getting signings now, which we need, and we do need to get signings. But I mean, we got six in the summer, and there were six very good signings. I mean, in all the signings we made were very good. Couple of things to iron out with a few of them, but in a whole, it was good signings, and that showed that we can trust Edu and Arteta, whoever makes the decision on the signings, we can
Yeah,
trust them with what they're doing and the vision they have, and you can't you can't win or you can't be up there within 6 months or what? Yeah, we're 6 months into the season since August You need to give the guy time. You can't just shout out, 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 out. I mean, we are just too impatient. Um, he, with him being young, with the team being young, there's going to be inconsistency. There's going to be mistakes made. It all depends on how they come back from that mistakes, how they bounce back. Um,
Yeah, yeah.
Unfortunately, the previous game they didn't bounce back the way we wanted them to, so they're still in that bit of a dip after the two cup exits. So now they've got a nice break, regather their thoughts, and we see what happens at the next game. I mean, if I look at our next couple of fixtures or the next six fixtures compared to us and the other teams around that fourth spot, on paper we've got the easier fixtures. Um, and bottom line is we just need to win those six games, and top four is we in it. I mean, we're not out of top four by any chance. I think everybody's thinking that top four is dead. It's not dead. It's
Yeah,
still on.
yeah,
And the other thing is everybody at the start of the season said they were happy with sixth. So we're sixth. What's the problem? What I
correct.
mean, you put the bar at six. If the guy gets six, you should be happy. You
Yeah,
can't come mid-season and say no, no. If you don't make top four now, you must go. But let's judge him in May. Be what we did with Lincoln. Let's see what happens in May. And I'm not Arteta out. I'm more leaning to the inside, but I'm on on. I'm just sitting there on the line on the track, and and I'm going to support him, man. I mean, he's Arsenal's manager, so I'm going to support him till the day he leaves.
yeah. That's
And
a
you
good
want,
at.
as an Arsenal fan, you want him to succeed. Shouting Arteta out, this negative vibes, it's silly, man.
Yeah. Warren, obviously you've now obviously heard what Nazima said, and there's a comment there that's saying that the board is not giving him any joy. Based on that comment, and you can also obviously add to the question I've asked is, um, what do you feel? I mean, you had a meeting with the other guys yesterday, and what is your feel around the club and the camaraderie? Right, what's happening there? The fans is pushing two ways. One says Ateta Edu must go. The other says they must stay. I mean, here you heard it now that we need to obviously get time. Your personal view and opinion about it, and remember, your opinion matters. By the way.
Yeah, thanks, man. Yeah, listen, yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat as yourself, Glenman, and Nazim as well. I'm getting like heavy pressure to say, no, 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 you are this, you that, you gotta, Arteta out, and okay, you, some of the other more passionate gooners are very much really on that point of Arteta out and things like that. But
Mm.
I'm not there yet, to be honest. I'm getting quite, like I said, a lot of pressure to join them on that bandwagon. But Nazim made a lot of good points there. Um, the fact that one of the good points he made as well was that we're still rebuilding this whole club, and the proof, what people quickly forget, right, is just the amount. I almost at times feel sorry for him because we let's look at it from when Wenger left, right, till now. Look at all the players we left, the number of players that left the football club, right? To now, we still have like, I mean, I counted at least like 11 players that we had to get rid of. I mean, so talking to what Nazim said, it's a massive, massive rebuilding job. I don't, people forget about it so quickly. Yes, we have one or two disappointing results and performances, but then they forget about the actual job, the size of the job you have to do. I mean, there we just got rid of Kolasinac and Chambers. I mean, these are players that have been there since, how many years ago now? And we still have a whole shipload of players to offload.
Mm.
So I'm not, I'm definitely not on I'm desperate for the guy to succeed. He's an Arsenal guy, yes, he's inexperienced. We get that. There's a lot he still has to learn, just like Edu. Um, he has improved the team. I think. I think even though obviously there's things to improve, I think the goalkeeper, the defense, um, that has been improved. But he's had a massive and a difficult rebuilding job to do, and it's still part of the rebuilding job. If I just look at, you know, you could quite clearly see read between the lines. Zaka and Aubameyang were two of his most influential and key players to his whole sort of master plan. He's going to play, and what made it a difficult job even more difficult is that, ironically, those are the same two players that have let him down the most. So it made a difficult job even more difficult. We're not we physically out of the top four, but we're not out of the race. I think we do have a chance.
We're
You
two
know, by
points
the time,
clear. Well,
well,
behind, sorry.
yeah, yeah. But I mean, by the time we play Wolves on the 10th, correct me if I'm wrong. I think all our players will be back from AFCON. The injured players will be available. I think even the suspended players will be available again. So we will be kind of back to where we were almost at the end of last year, which was in a very good position. So we can go again. We will. Um, we I think we will go again. It's obviously we'd like to have additions, and probably get to that later in the show. But just to talk to one of the comments about the you know the owners and the manager, and what's the feeling with other supporter clubs around the world, and what's the vibe like inside the club itself. Just
Mm.
from what I picked up, it's totally the opposite of you know what you see and feel with a lot of the Arsenal groups that you know that's Arteta out, and it's the negative energy. I can tell you, this guy Arteta is heavily backed by the board. This guy's not going anywhere. I can tell you that right now. And the general feel amongst the supporters is that it will take time. This is a young team with a young manager. I know people don't like hearing that. I get it. It's we fans don't like to be patient, but uh, just consider, just consider the amount of work that, never mind the players we're getting in. Just consider the amount of players we need to get out.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
an entire team. Even after getting rid of so many players, after so many years, we still have to get rid of an entire team of players. We've done
yeah,
two now in the transfer window. People forget about something. It's not just an easy thing of press this button and we're going to sign that guy. I know people are frustrated. I do get that. I also want new signings, but this Arsenal project is because just keeping it also in mind, we're also not Middlesbrough. We're not Aston Villa. We're not Leicester. With Arsenal comes big club, big pressure. So people expect certain things.
yeah,
At another club, Brendan Rodgers can get away with stuff. Gerrard will get away with things. Vieira will get away with stuff at Palace. Certain managers at certain clubs will get away with it. Bealsley at Leeds, but at Arsenal, it's already day one. You on the hot plate. You got billions of people watching you, demanding certain things.
sorry.
And I think Nazim also made another good point that the supporters are very. I mean, one day they pro this person, and then 2 weeks later they anti the. I mean, come on, man. I mean, it's still how many months is still left in the football season? It's February, March, April, May. There's so many games to play, and I think the guys are ready now. And that's the fun. Just to prove the whole point, at the beginning of the season, if you tell any Arsenal support, if you just listen to them at the beginning of the season, listen here, will you take Europa League football next season? 100% would have said yes. Now,
Yeah,
because we had a taste of top four people, oh no, we're not getting Champions League. Our team must go now. But hold on, you're
mm.
the same person that accepted the Europa League in August. So what happened in and out?
Exactly.
You got a taste of the ice cream. Now you want more ice cream. I mean, you
Yeah,
can't change. Like Nazim said, give the guy till May, and then you
yeah,
judge the guy. You can then, like you say, have your say and as much as possible.
yeah,
But just
yeah,
give the guy a fair chance. You can be harsh, you can be kind, or whatever. But give the guy till May. Then you can say in and out and sideways and whatever.
yeah,
Yeah.
Sorry, that's where I'm at. I'm still in the middle with the whole. I'm not in or out. I'm backing the guy. I'm desperate him to succeed. So I'm backing him now. And Okay, I'm gonna get a few gunshots at me from other. I'll have to take it. I'll have to take it.
Yeah. You know, Nazim, you wanted to say something?
And another thing is, I mean, if you try to look back at the season and we go back to November, beginning of December, I think even I threw this comment that there wasn't an identity to our football. You
Yeah.
couldn't see what the plan was. But come December and now we can actually see what we're trying to do. I mean,
Yeah.
you can see that this team is starting to gel, and we saw against Man City, irrespective if we lost the game, and that was for other reasons. We could see that there is something in this team that can
Yeah.
be built on because they're so young, with the manager included. There is something that there is a foundation now for for the team to go forward and the club to go forward, but it's going to take, in my opinion, two, maybe three more seasons. Um, and what I mean by that is actually challenging for the title. Um,
Yeah.
I think my target for Arteta next year, provided he gets the correct signings now or in the summer, is next season he's got to break that top four, and then the following two seasons he needs to start challenging for the title. I mean, we all know the Premier League is the toughest league in the year in the
In the
world,
world.
and to win it, I mean, it is so hard. I mean, Klopp struggles. I don't even think Klopp is going to win it now again. I don't even think, unless Liverpool makes some massive signings, I don't think Klopp is going to win it again because it's that hard. And
Yeah.
um, we are we setting our bar too high with Arteta. The problem is that most of our fans, Arsenal fans, has come into the Wenger era, and they only know success. They don't know the tough times, and they're always expecting that immediate success. Look, Arsene Wenger was a brilliant manager. I mean, to keep
Yes.
Arsenal in the top four for so long with that crap side he had just shows the quality of the type of manager he has. And we can't expect that. You're not the Fergusons and the Wengers of the world, you're not going to get that again.
No, you won't.
Not the way they did it.
Talking about success, I mean, will I mean you alluded to it, Warren. Is it really seeming that bleak, irrespective of where we are? We're still in the race of the top six. We are top six at current. Anything can happen. I mean, Spurs has got 4 games in hand. We've got 3 games in hand. That's open to 24, I think. 24 games were supposed to be played up until this point.
Yeah, yeah.
So we are 3 points in with 3 games. Spurs is 4 games. Manchester's got 2 games, and what's his face? Hammers
West
was
Ham, yeah.
West Ham is also about 2 or so. Does it look bleak for us to get there, considering where we are at this point with? Sorry, that's the wrong one. With these guys. Now, these are the players that we have currently, our senior players. Here you see it's Leno and Ramsdale. Then we've got the 4 or the 5 defenders at the back. Then we've got the host of midfielders that seemingly are a problem currently, and of course certainly the 3 strikers. So, but you look at Martinelli and Smith Rowe and Saka. You may be looking at them also at strikers. So there's talks that Aubameyang and Nketiah might just leave before Monday. The same with
Wow,
Leno.
wow.
Yeah, the same with Leno.
Okay.
Um, that is a problem. So there I count as 2, as 6, as 9, as 11, 12, 15, 19, 21 players. Am I correct? 22 players, if I'm not mistaken. So if the 3 of them leave, then we've got
Yeah,
then we don't have depth. So
yeah,
considering,
yeah.
again, back to this slide, are we gonna make it if we get nobody?
Um, Look, I mean, let's talk reality now. We are the time. the window closes on Monday midnight, isn't it? Is that correct?
11 o'clock UK time. Yeah,
Monday,
yeah,
the 31st, right?
correct.
So let's assume we don't get anyone in. Um, so this is more pressure on the manager to be more smart with his squad. He's also going to have to trust some of his players a little bit more. Unfortunately, like Pepe is going to have to get game time. He's going to have to be clever there. So Saka was already looking totally burnt out. Okay, and maybe it's a good thing that there is a 2 week gap and the guys and rested, but I'm not sure what who's going on international duties and stuff. But there will be players that will be coming back that he's going to be forced to rely on. The Alnenis, the Pepes, who's the other one? Smith Rowe will be back, and you'll be over his injury worries. So these guys that will step in will have to. The managers gonna have to find solutions. He's gonna have to get more out of them. I don't think you will have the luxury of saying, okay, you know what, that's a front three like a Z Martinelli and Saka, and you're gonna play every game from now till the end of the season. I don't think that's a reality because
Mm.
at some point in time we're gonna have 2 games in the space of 1 week, meaning you play, for example, the Wednesday night, Saturday morning you're playing again. Because of the postponed fixtures and things
Yeah.
like that. And there is, of course, a hard line in the Premier League that is non-negotiable. They have to finish it by then. Um, so for me, that's going to be interesting. I think what is going to be key is, and I know this has been this is where we suffered the most. I think it's in the middle of that midfield. We got to get
Yay.
that two back available, fit, and ready for action. What happened in the past happened in the past. I think you needs to be clear. You almost need to tell the guys, listen here, we're a couple of weeks away from top four. We can get it. We'll wipe the slate clean and let's go again. Let's rebuild again like we were prior to the bad January month that we had. Um, so we definitely do stand a chance. I think West Ham, United, Spurs, even though they've changed managers and stuff, it's still a bit touch and go. You hear Conte talking about Spurs being a million miles away. He's quite honest about it. This new guy at United also seems like I mean they're getting the result, but they're not playing good football. I don't think that can last for too long. I think what will be key, and I think this is what we've maybe been missing this season so far. I think we do need to land a bit of a heavyweight title blow, and that by that I mean when we play United or Spurs or Liverpool. I think for the confidence of the team, I think what we need now, we can do with a big game victory. I think we can do with a win over Liverpool, United, or Spurs. I think that is going to be just the injection, the shot in the arm that we need to kick on. We need something to spark us. It just seems a bit gloomy, no transfer activity, we out of 2 cups, and the way we lost it, and the injuries, and it's just all a bit of a negative cloud. It
Yeah.
seems like that, even though it's a small period of time, but a lot has happened in January. Um, but all is not lost. It's all about how we react now. I think he needs to use this time very cleverly now, not just physically but mentally. Recharge the batteries and let's go again. The same players prove that they can do it. So that's the one thing you can hold on to. They've actually proven to us at the team they can do it. But you just get the feeling that in certain games, like I said, even though people don't like the Zakas and the Almenis and the Peppers, these are the guys, unfortunately, whether people want to admit it or not, they're going to have to come good in some way or in some capacity between now and the end of the season to give us that push because we can't play that same team every week.
Yeah. So, I mean, talking about that, and I mean, this is something funny, really, is that knock, 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 who's there? Guess who?
Oh,
Yeah. This is something interesting to see because again, this afternoon I read that this is on the cards again. He's changed his agent yesterday,
James Bond.
last minute change, and all of a sudden, Arsenal is looking at him again. I mean, this was the same scenario last year that we
Mm,
had this whole month with Vlahovic. I
yeah,
mean, you know what I mean? And
yeah,
that is the sort of business that I am really, really tired of. You are linked with a host of
yeah.
players. I mean, look at there, a host of players. That is midfielders and strikers in between. Um, but still, we don't have any player.
Yeah, I mean, just sorry, Nazim. I mean,
No, no.
I think you know more a lot about the transfer windows. I generally don't. Years ago, I trained myself to just ignore it because it ends in disappointment. Um, but the one thing that always that you'll notice, right? We compare us to, well, just about anyone else. You will like so. For example, say Southampton is keen on signing, Tankowski from Burnley. Just for example's sake, right? You hear a rumor or he's linked or whatever words you want to use. Then you will see followed up with that, maybe a week later or 4 or 5 days later. Okay, Southampton, they made a bid of 20 million. Okay, and then who knows from there. But the difference with even us and us, and this is where I got the problem is, we never make a bid. We never make bid for anyone. So that's my argument. My counter argument is always when someone sends me, WhatsApp to the images and the stories, and my counter argument is always, how do you know it's true? Because remember, more than half, probably more than half of it is made up. Some reporter somewhere is making up stories, and then you'll get the 20% that maybe a little bit, there's some kind of truth behind it. But you also never know. You never know which one is which. But my point being, you'll never see Arsenal. There'll never be a line that says Arsenal made a bid for whatever for 35 million. You'll never
Yeah.
see that headline. It'll be everything except that, and that's why I just look at it and I think, boys, calm down. This ain't that.
Yeah, the only Arsenal news you get is Arsenal signed so and so for so much. But
Yeah.
you don't hear that.
It-
So yeah, look, transfer news. It's a media hype, man. I also just really believe it. There are some nice to haves. I mean, you look at the signings that the supposed interest, and there are a couple of nice to haves. But yeah, you can only believe it when it's straight from Arsenal. Right? That's just how they do business, and they've been doing business like that since Wenger days. You only know who they're after until the person signed. And
So,
at the moment, we don't know. We don't know what's going to happen. We just have the hope that something's going to happen.
is that a tactic from Arsenal, hyping up the fans, getting all sorts of negativity from the fans, and because it seems like that, but then again,
No,
back at the launch, the very last day, whoop, there you see three players coming in or two or one player. You know what I mean?
no, no.
So I mean, yeah,
I don't think it's Arsenal. It's the media. I don't think Arsenal want that type of um, because it's a lot of, if it doesn't happen and some other club signs it, then it's a negative look on Arsenal. So I don't think that stories come out of Arsenal directly. It's just media reporters making up stories. Somebody sitting in his lounge and he's late with a story for his editor and he just comes up with something. And it's
Yeah,
all right. So
Arsenal's the easy target.
actually,
Arsenal's the easy target
yeah.
because
yeah,
Correct.
everybody
I was just
knows
about to
these
say that.
players.
Yeah, yeah.
so I
And
get the
also the
feeling
thing is,
like yeah.
now just to add on to that, what Nazim just said, because these guys know, not only do we have a big supporter base, we've got the most famous or infamous online presence of any other football club. No other club can rival the type of online presence because of people like AFTVs, and they know there will be a reaction. If they put something
Yeah.
out there, it'll spark, they'll create the misleading headlines, and they'll know there's sharks in the water that will bite that and chew it up.
That is exactly what I did with this what's the name today, or not today, yesterday. With this is I knew I'm gonna get flack and I knew I'm gonna get all sorts of things. Because I've never wanted to get onto that bandwagon saying that
Yeah,
Arteta must go. I've never been, even with Emre and with Wenger, but nonetheless. So we're almost done with the transfers. So these two guys apparently are also one of the things that really there is talks that there was really contact made with the clubs. First of all, Isaac's release clause is too much. I think it's close to 70 million euros. And then Steven Gerrard don't want to lose the Douglas Luiz kind of guy, because at this point Steven Gerrard is creating so much depth at Aston Villa,
yeah,
and they sort of trying to weaken Arsenal. And I mean Newcastle is getting onto that same boat now.
yeah.
So just quickly from the transfer side, these guys here, who are the guys that I mean, you mentioned that love to have Nazim. Which of these guys would you want to see at the club? Some of these guys obviously won't come to the club anymore, like the Arthur Mello and the Bruno Gumares, whatever.
Actually, my love to Habs are not even in this picture. Like number one on my list is not
All right,
even it's not even a striker. Uh, Number one on my
midfielder.
list, yeah. And people, I think I got flack with this the other day.
Is
Declan
it
Rice,
Tillemans? Oh,
no,
Declan
Declan
Rice.
Rice. I think that boy,
Yeah, that's wishful
that
thinking.
is exactly what we need. Eh? I mean,
Yeah, I
I'd,
rate
I'd,
him very high.
I'd pay 60 million for him, no problem.
I'll pay 70 million for him if I have to.
Yeah,
I'd pay
well,
80 million for him. 80. I'd go 80. Yeah.
And I'm
he's
sure
No,
I'm
exactly what we need.
you'd probably go for like 100 million or 90 or 100
Yeah.
million.
yeah, no, look, that's a wishful thinking
But
for any fan at this
just the
stage.
other,
But
the, just another thing that people are, and this is where we talk about we can also improve, and this is where Edu, not Arteta, more, this is more Edu's realm, and you know, if you look at these players compared to say 20 years ago, where Arsenal or United or Chelsea could go and pick this guy from West Ham or Southampton. Clubs these days don't really have to sell players. You're talking about Villa, right? For example. Now, Villa don't have to sell anyone. They're not in any financial trouble. They actually look like they're going somewhere now with a new owner, and they've got Steven Gerrard now. There's an attraction to them. But you can say that about a lot of clubs. So I think we do need to, for example, right? There's one guy on that picture you showed now that I'd love to see at Arsenal.
obviously, the guy in
Um,
blue.
yeah, Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Now, now besides him, right? Now, now there's a situation that we can size up and try and be clever and go in and steal this player. So Everton is in a bit of a shambles. There's issues with their financial, not the irregularities. They need to balance the books a bit because they overspend in
Yeah,
the previous years and they're not. You know what I mean? Um, that he's also coming towards the end of his contract. He's an Arsenal supporter. We need a striker. So I'm just saying, so there you see a little bit of a gap. That is where we must go. Go and test the waters out there. Make a bid. See what the club says. See what. Listen, if they say no, then they say no, and we
they
move
say no.
on.
Yeah,
But we don't even try to test the water out. And we got to be in today's market. The clubs are being, because of financial fair play and foreign ownership. So you got smaller. Burnley's got foreign owners. I didn't know that. So clubs are not like in decades gone by where they have to sell this guy. They have to sell Harry Q for 80 million to balance this year's books out. No? They
yeah,
don't have to do that anymore. Palace don't have to do that. Villa don't have to do that. So that's already one big advantage. The big clubs like us used to enjoy. So that is gone. So now you got to be even more inventive, and people don't get that. But so when it comes to these scenarios, I mean, I was joking with someone. Was it last year? I mean, with the whole Harry Kane song, I know it's completely out of the left field, but what would it have cost us to go there and say, listen here, we got money. We got money. This guy's going out. I'm not saying he will come to us, but what would it cost us to make an offer to Spurs and say, listen, you actually grew up here with us. Why didn't you move 3 roads down the road and come and join us, be our main striker, and take us into Europe type of thing? Just to test them out, just to see what
Yeah,
they would have seen. I'm not saying him specifically, but we don't even try that. I mean, we don't even like test the water like to make a bid with anyone. So how would you ever know, what the scenario is? The clubs will just chase you away. They'll make up a story unless you knock on the door and you actually say, "Well, sorry, man, can you give me this guy from Leon or whatever? Here's 40 million or whatever, But
yeah,
we just
yeah.
don't even get to that point.
Now, the interesting thing that you're talking about is about Everton. Pardon me. Now, remember Jermaine, is it Jenas? Not Jenas. Pennant
Yeah,
that played for us in
Yeah.
Liverpool. Now, he suggested today that Everton must come for Oba. So, if that were to be true, and you would like to see what's the name come the other way, there should have been something like you say. Be creative in your negotiations. I mean, yes, if that were to be true, and the same for Juve. Juve wants him as well, according to the reports, and we want a player from Juve. So why can't you then go and say negotiate this sort of thing? I know it's always the
right?
thing about a cash plus player or player swap deal, whatever. That's not always going to work. But if you really want something
Yeah,
to be done or happen,
yeah,
put your cards on the table and get
yeah.
something there. But now to our line of this is the last segment of the transfers is this real that the board has come to Edo and say I can't give 18 months because this is now likely to be the definite answer that the sources has given is that Edo went to the board. He agreed with the Juventus 18-month loan deal for this guy, and of course, the board said no. We don't want 18 months and option to buy and obligation to buy. The board, do they really want to get involved with these type of things? Because I mean, they employed Edu to be that director or the technical director in terms of getting players. Warren, not Warren, Nazim, sorry.
I think 18 months loan is too long. I also wouldn't, and I think, yeah, the board has the right to say no. I mean, if the deal doesn't make sense or it doesn't work, I mean, if we see it doesn't work in what's left of the season, we're still stuck with a guy for a year, and they want us to pay his full wages, and he's probably just going to sit on the bench and be dead wood. So yeah, I agree with that. 18 months is too long. I'd do 6 months. Let's see how it goes for the 6 months. If we're happy with it, then we can extend it to 12 months and take him all season next season. But yeah, just 18 months off the bat like that, I'd also say no.
So being the devil's advocate. So we've taken out five guys, right, and zero ins. Now we running for top four and top six. The board is saying 18 months. Yes, I agree. 18 months is too long. But now we're not getting anybody, and we got injury problems and all sorts of things, and we don't have anybody to play in that. I mean, Granit Xhaka is probably going to get another red or two until the end of the season, or whatever the case may be. Are we then not going to look at this 18-month deal and say, but we had a
Who happened
player
is
that is
that?
seemingly
Who is that player, about? Who is he? I'm not sure who's that
Arthur
player.
Mello? He played
Yeah, for Melo.
he played
Oh, okay.
for Barcelona and currently for Juve. So I mean that sort of things. I mean, being the advocate of the bloody devil, and that's the thoughts that goes through my mind. I don't agree with 18 months deal, especially not now. Maybe 12 months for the longest whole season, but not the 18 month deal. I understand that, but for the flip side is where we gonna get the players to come in. I mean, we don't. We all have said it before that the team that we have currently is not the team that will take us places. I mean, if you look at El Nena and Xhaka, Lakonga, I mean, how many times have we reported on Lakonga being still a youngster that gives balls away, and he's one of our only team players that can play, and we don't
Yeah,
have any other players.
the thing is, like I said at the beginning of the show, I mean, we've got so much deadwood. We can sing the Titanic again, at the club. I mean, jeepers. Do we really want another guy like Nazim said on loan and maybe he works out, and then what if it doesn't work out? Then it's just going to be another negative thing to focus on. So I think the time period is a bit of a problem.
The
Maybe,
problem.
maybe I'd have thought, okay, listen, let's play from now till the end of the season, and then we make up our minds, and then we make a concrete offer. For me, the whole thing is just smacking of sort of mismanagement and indecisiveness, just not
Yeah.
and lack of planning. Why are we even
Mm,
talking about loans? I don't think we should loan in any player, not even one. I think we should like look. I'm already in my mind. I've already closed this transfer window down. I'm not expecting anything. I'm waiting till June, July when the window opens. In the proper full window,
Look,
and we just clear house. There's another 8 players I think we need to chop, and we need to go in. But the thing is, we need to know now exactly what the game plan is. And you know what? Unlike, like say, Liverpool, Chelsea, Spurs, United, I think with them there's a lot of. If you ask their supporters like what's wrong, they'll give you. If you ask 10 of their guys, it'll be like 9 different answers. But if you ask 10 Arsenal fans, what's the problem? Every one of them 10 will tell you exactly. This is the issue. But for us, it's actually a positive. It's actually a positive because it's not
we on
like we
unity.
don't have, it's not like we have to figure out, we need to get the analysts in to first figure. We know exactly who must go and we know exactly what positions to fill. So from there, now already we should say, okay, right back, number 8 in the team, the playmaker, the striker. So let's target, there's 3 for each positions. Let's start talk. We don't have to sign these players now. Let's talk to these clubs. Let's show them we're interested. And then let's put in bids come June. Let's not wait until the end of the market. Let's go in and get the business done. That is what I want to see. If we want to get to the next level, then that is how we must act. We need to act accordingly. We need to act like a big club, and we gotta be decisive. Edu and his team there, they've got to learn from their mistakes. I think I blame them for this January stuff up. They all knew AFCON is going. They all knew COVID is around, so anyone can drop out at any point in time. The risk is higher, so they should have prepared far better. And then on top of it, they still loan out Maitland Niles in the one position we're lacking the most, midfield. I mean, that was just poor planning. So they've got to carry the blame. If someone has to, they got to carry the blame for that. But I don't know. Yeah, the on loan stuff. I don't know, man. I'm very iffy about that, to be honest.
I just had a thought, another thought of Ainsley Maitland-Niles, Murray, Balogun, Kolasinac, and Chambers. Chambers was actually very, very sudden, and I'm really behind the scenes. Of these players, to be honest, I mean that's no real honesty. Would they really have made a difference if we didn't loan them out or let them go?
probably only Maitland Niles, right? Maitland Niles is the only of that list. The only Maitland Niles is the one we really need. Balogun, that's just pure experience. That's why he went out. The others we didn't need. Kalashnik, obviously.
Oh, I'm glad he's gone. Yes, yeah, I'm
Uh,
glad he's gone.
Callum
Wow,
Chambers, with Tommy Yasu being injured and Cedric being injured,
Suarez.
Yeah,
it's why they did it so suddenly. With maybe they're back. I mean, maybe Suarez and Tommy is back, so that's why the Chambers go. But yeah, Maitland Niles is the only one on that list that we could have kept. I mean, I like the boy. He's Arsenal through and through. I just don't know why Arteta doesn't give him more chance.
yeah. I
Yeah,
was. I mean,
More
I
game
would have.
time.
The only difference I would have done there, I would have definitely would have kept Maitland Niles. There's no two ways about it. And then with Chambers, because of the injury concerns, and I don't trust Cedric. I don't trust him to play at right
Yeah,
back.
no, he's
Um,
overrated.
and also, I don't like the fact that when Tommy House is not there, we must break up our centre back partnership and
Yeah,
play Ben White at right back, because you can see he's not a right back. He's not good at all at right back. I would have kept Chambers till the end of the season and told him, look, pal, we'll help you find a new club at the end of the season, but just help us for the
He
next
went
couple
for
of months.
free, so you would have it would have made sense if you kept him there until the end of the season. He
Exactly.
actually
You
went for
know,
free.
just as a little backup. We do need in my opinion, we need another right back. We need the Balladins need to go. Chambers is gone now. Cedric needs to go. We need another right back to challenge Tommy Yasu.
yeah.
Yeah. All right. Setting our focus to the next games. I mean, obviously we had Burnley lost, and that was a 0-0. Our next is Wolves, and you know what? Also being linked with Naves. Neves, if we really, I mean, I said somebody today, if we could really get Neves before this window closes, he will be a very, very good addition in that center to play against his
Yeah,
own team, because he's the man who sort of breaks down everything. Have you seen the game against
yeah,
United where he played? You've seen the
yeah.
games against us last season when he played. So he's a man that really he focuses on. He watches it. He sort of sees the game from like on top like an eagle. So, um, do you think in the next couple of games, that is now just the next few games that I've put on there, the Brentfords, and I mean, I said last week, remember Warren, that these are the games we have to win. We can win it, but it's a must that we win it.
Mm, mm, yeah. The Wolves game. Oh my goodness, that is going to be
Yeah.
extremely difficult. Um, Brentford and Watford, we should be able to do something, but there I see, didn't Watford just appoint Roy Hodgson?
Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes,
Okay,
yes.
okay, well, there you go. So expect something to happen there. I'm not saying we can't beat them, but Arsenal, we love giving gifts away. New manager needs a bounce, and then boop, we will give him a bounce.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Out of this five, only two teams that we didn't win the first round is Wolves and Brentford. We've beaten the other teams, sure, if I'm not mistaken. We've
Yeah.
beaten Leicester on their home ground 3-1.
yeah.
We've beaten Watford, I think, how much, 1-0? Or what was the score? I can't
One
remember
nil,
what the
1-0,
score
yeah.
was.
Yeah, 1-0, yeah.
And then, of course, the Burnley we also beat. No, did we play Burnley? Yeah, we beat Burnley. I think
Yes, yes.
also a very
Also
low
1-0,
score.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And most of these games we are obviously we're playing two away and two at home, three at home. Well, we played one already. Nazim, are we going to change something against Wolves?
We can't.
We're
We don't have the
preparing.
squad.
We're
We don't have the
preparing
squad to
in.
change anything. We can't. We can't. We don't have the squad. I mean, let's just, in hindsight, say we get no signings, so there's not much we can change.
Will
Uh,
Party and Becky be back, Nazim, for that game?
No, they
Will they
should
be?
be back.
no, Party will be back.
And
Yeah,
Zaka?
and Xhaka.
No, Jacques got 3 games, right? It was a straight red card. So Jacques has only served 2 so far.
He served
Oh,
the one against Liverpool and he
The
served the
one
one
against
against
Liverpool, one against
and
Burnley.
Nottingham.
No? The
Yes, he
Nottingham
got the
Forest one
Liverpool.
was.
Yeah,
When did he got his
he got
red
the
card
red card
against
against Liverpool first leg.
Liverpool? Oh, yeah,
I
then he's
started.
also back, yeah.
So he'll
Is
be
he?
back.
Is he?
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
Oh, okay.
it was Nottingham Forest, Liverpool, and again Burnley. So he'll be back. He should be
Uh,
back
let's
if they don't sell him off as well.
squad.
Yeah, I mean, the reason why I'm asking that is just that is the core. I mean, the back four already. I think Tommy Yasu will be available. You'll have time to recover. Goalkeepers, obviously, you know who's that. But it's that middle two. We can get that going again. I think that will lay the foundation for the front guys again. But I do think we're gonna whether we yeah we're gonna have to tap into the Pepes of this world and maybe even freshen things up. Give Smith Rowe some game time as well.
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah, we can't go with the same team. We gotta mix things up.
Well, they have a rest now, so I mean, we only play the 10th, so that's 12 days from now, or 13 days from now. So basically
Yeah.
2 weeks. So they should be fully fresh in
And
two
they're
weeks'
playing
time.
behind closed doors against Reading, I think, just to get some fitness going as
Yeah.
well next
So
week.
I think we should have a full squad with the squad we have. I think the only person from that list that's going to be missing is Aubameyang. I
Yeah.
don't see. I don't think he's going to get back into this team.
Yeah, I was about to
Uh,
ask that now. If he doesn't go, and obviously he's available again, I mean, what do we do with the guy? Do we
Who
play
at
him or what?
honestly,
Aubameyang, Aubameyang.
I'd play him, right? I mean, he's
Yeah, if
already,
worse comes, yeah, if
he's
worse
already
comes to
lost the
worse,
captaincy. Yeah, if worst
yeah,
comes
if
to
worse
worst,
comes
I'll
to
play him.
worse, I would give him a hug and tell him we love him and he's the best thing in the world and
Yeah, give him
let
a
him play
gold
for
Ferrari.
let him play for 3 months and
Team
that's
play.
not what we
Yeah,
want to do. And then at the end of the season, we can wave him goodbye. And stuff.
yeah. If we don't sell him by Monday, then I'd play him. I wouldn't omit him from the squad anymore. I think he's served his sentence. He hasn't played for us for a month now.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. But I
I
think
agree with
also
that.
from my personal view for what I read, and again, it is the media, like you said early on, but some of these things sort of make sense because it's Aubameyang. He's been stripped, been chucked, and also he's not with the guys in Dubai. So um, him in his own mind is probably saying, these guys is they really called it quits on me. So in my mind, he's probably saying, you know what, I don't want to play for Arsenal anymore. So that sort of thing.
Yeah,
Yeah, that is a weird sort of thing. When I read that, I mean, they took Jack Wilshere on the trip to Dubai. He was not a player, but then they leave Aubameyang at home training. There's something. Listen, so we know there's something wrong there. Okay, captain's armband taken away. But I think there's something else going on there that we don't know about. I don't think the club or the managers giving us the full picture because that's quite to do that for such a long time. That's quite a harsh sentence. I would have expected someone like Granit Xhaka getting that sort of punishment because he's a repeat offender. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Something is just not adding up with the Aubameyang thing. And like you said, Glenn, he, I wouldn't be surprised if come Monday we hear that he's being loaned out to AC Milan or whatever.
yeah.
Something is just not there. I don't know.
Okay, I think it's a lot of other things that is not disclosed in the media for people to see, and I think, I mean, to give such harsh punishment, it's a lot of punishment for one guy. I mean, two years ago he was the best player. I mean, in fact, not too long ago he was the best player that we have,
Yeah,
and currently he's the worst player and personality for that. So coming back to these games, would you want to give a prediction on this?
I can give a hope. Win all five. Win all five. uh, but like Warren said, that Wolves. I think of all of them, the Wolves game has me worried. That's the one team that's currently on good form at the moment.
So you're writing
So
of Leicester. I mean, Leicester is
yeah,
also becoming
I'm not
a,
that
a,
scared of Leicester. Not really. I mean, I think Vardy is over the hill, so I don't worry about him too much. I mean, he's always pulling his hamstring, so for me, Vardy is not too much
the
of an issue.
age.
The age, yeah. Yeah, then it's just the Wolves game that really has me worried. I mean, we should get past Watford and Brentford. Brentford, the first game of the season, that was a big blip, in my opinion. And yeah, we'll probably hammer them this time around.
yeah, I agree. I think Brentford. if they're not too careful, they, I mean, for their sake, it's a good thing they had such a strong start because they falling quite heavily now. I
Yeah.
think their bubble is starting to burst. So I agree. I can't see us beating Wolves. I just think we lack that creativity in the middle of the park. I think like the Neves and Martinez, they will sort of outmaneuver us in midfield and dominate that. I can see that being a no-all. To be honest with you, I'll take a no-all there. But the other games, I think Brentford, Watford, I think we'll have too much. I think we'll have too
Yeah.
much, considering that we'll have our players back. Yeah, you know what I mean? We're
Yeah.
not going to be playing a 17-year-old in midfield. We'll have our first team back. I think we will have enough. And then Leicester blows hot and cold. I don't know what's going on there, but one day they brilliant, and the next day they kind of go cold again. I think defensively they have missed some key players, so I think there again that could be like a quite there could be a couple of goals in the Leicester game, but I reckon I think we could get a win there. So if you think about it, and considering you United and West Ham and I think Spurs, who they playing against, someone will drop points there. So yeah, I know it's been a poor January, and people obviously feeling that now, but that's a blip. We got to recover now, and we proved it. We had a poor August, very poor, remember, and we recovered from that, just from getting the 3 points on it. And I think if we do that, it will build a foundation because I think after that, the 4 games will come like the Chelsea game, the United game. So I think
Yeah,
it
the
can
next
give us.
the next game after Leicester would be Aston Villa, and that is I'm scared of.
Well, there you go. So it'll start getting a bit tricky, but I'm sure some of the rearranged games, like Spurs and Chelsea, will be rearranged. It'll be slot in between one of those
Into in
games,
between those, yeah, midweek.
somewhere there. Yeah. But if we just chip away at these other games, right? By the time we play those teams, we could be in a quite a good position and give us the confidence to actually beat one of these teams. And I think that could be a
Yeah.
big knockout blow for us. Well, us knocking them out.
Sure.
So, sorry, Nazim, you wanted to say?
No, 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 no. Just agreeing with Warren.
All right, and that is basically that sort of it boggles me is this our next game after Leicester is Aston Villa, and Aston Villa, what Gerrard is doing there, he's trying to weaken the guys above him. He's 11th, I think. They laying 11th, and they are 12 points away from top four, and they also have got 3 games in hand. And they're strengthening their squad. I mean, they've got Coutinho, they've got that guy from the left back from what's the name
Dino,
from
look at Dino.
Everton,
Look at Dino.
and yeah, from Everton. And now they've acquired what's his face
Chambers. Chambers.
Chambers, and then they have another player also interested in, and I think Gerard is trying to get all the old guys from his playing days. Suarez.
Ooh, that could be exciting. And
That's
and
a
listen,
scary.
you,
That's a
you, you know
scary
what?
thought, eh?
Just to put things into perspective, right? And this just shows you what another club can do and what we're not doing. It'll probably make our fan base more frustrated, but I can actually see Suarez going to Villa because of the Gerrard connection. And
Yeah,
also the thing is, their owners are quite very ambitious. They got fairly new owners as well. They've come out and said they've got their ambitions are not mid-table. They want to get into Champions League. These guys are willing to back the manager, well, get the right guy in and then back him. And you can see they really are. Gerard said immediately he wanted this type of player, and they got the guy. It wasn't like, I mean, I don't think the whole Coutinho thing lasted, the whole month of I think it was the Monday it broke, and then the Saturday
and
he
the
was signed
Saturdays,
or something.
yeah, yeah,
I mean, it's like,
and it,
whoa, is this guy here already? He didn't play in the
Yeah.
United game, and he scored.
And he scored.
Something. I mean, it's like if I was just thinking if this was Arsenal linked with Philip Coutinho, if we were going to sign him, we would have probably signed him, 10 o'clock on Monday. And there would have been just some issue with his visa, or his dental records didn't come through yet on time. And, we'll just find a way to not get it done. But I think that is also what makes the fan base more frustrated because you see what other clubs do. I mean, Gerard just arrived there now the other day. I mean, who the hell is he? And then
Yeah.
suddenly you're just seeing things is happening like Glenman just said now. Suddenly these players is coming and he knows who he wants. He's getting he's targeting them and they're getting them.
Yeah,
But
and not it seems so easy because Gerard obviously he started in Scotland and brilliant for him. He's coming now to EPL, and now he's showing those plays. He said, "Look, this is what I want from you guys. This is in
yeah,
my mind. I'm thinking."
yeah,
He's,
yeah,
he's telling that cloakroom, "This is what I want from you guys, but this is what I'm gonna give to you guys."
yeah,
So these guys are seeing Gerard is saying that he's gonna give us something, but he wants something in return. So he's bringing three players already. So I have to fight for my position to
yeah,
get those three players on the bench at least.
yeah,
So, and he's bringing in more players. So surely Gerard is saying that what I've said is the truth because you are seeing now what I've said.
yeah,
So clearly
yeah,
something has happened in that squad. I mean, look at the guy that we wanted to buy from Norwich City, Buendia. That boyki is playing like a small Messi currently because he is floating through everybody in that midfield. And
yeah.
again, they're taking players that Arsenal are linked with and they're trying to sort of
I think
weaken our
I think
legs.
the key word there, right? If you look at that whole picture, what did you see now? The one word comes to mind: decisive. Listen to what the Villa owners came out and said. They said Gerard wanted someone with proven quality. He didn't want to muck around with, no, let's go to Middlesbrough and Norwich and get the second string right back and all. They they actually came out and said, no, Gerard told us he wanted the proven, okay, and so that
Player,
is
yeah,
the category we're gonna go shop in that aisle, not in the other aisle. We're going to that aisle.
correct.
Decisive. Not, we're
Yeah,
the opposite of decisive. Arteta's
yeah,
flying to America. Arteta's flying to America. I don't know what he's
to
doing
get a
there.
signature. He's
I
gonna
don't
get a
know.
signature.
Can someone tell me what that was about? I mean, what was that about?
Apparently it
What was
was
that
a
about?
prearranged thing. It was before it was a COVID pre-COVID
Oh
arranged
my
thing. Yeah.
goodness me! In the middle
Well,
of the transfer
that
window.
is what it said. Yeah. Look,
In the
last
middle of the
last
transfer
the
window. Can't
in
they
the
do it
summer
after the transfer window? I mean, oh my
in
goodness.
the summer Edu went on a holiday in somewhere in Europe. Remember when he was supposed to sign some signings, but nonetheless. So yeah, I think it's a lot of frustration for us
Yeah,
as fans, and I think rightly so because we expect things to happen each window because that is what the manager said. He said that we need to obviously put our hands in our pockets and get some players for each window. And I mean, the time is running out. There's just tomorrow, Sunday, and Monday, so we don't have much time left.
yeah,
But yeah, we've come to a place where we have to close, guys. I call this the desperado because these are guys that were linked to the club only after we found that Vlahovic is not coming. so, so they desperate to sort of go and put some guys
oh
in
my
the squad
word.
there.
Oh my
Some
goodness.
last
Yeah.
thoughts from you, Nazim?
Well, I'm just hoping we see signings come Monday. Hope whatever Edu and Arteta's doing in Dubai, they're trying to sort out business. If not for this transfer windows, I hope they're lining them up for the summer. And that's it. I mean, there's probably a couple of names we can throw in that would suit us. I mean, if we as fans can see what we need, I'm sure they can see. I mean, they're a lot cleverer than us, or they know the game a lot better than us, so they can obviously see what we need. And yeah, we trusted them in the summer, so let's trust them again now and see what happens.
Warren,
Yeah,
your last thoughts?
yeah. So I've already sort of in my mind already just closed up the hope of getting any signings in. I'm just hoping that we can now just in this time period just break away, just focus on the players that we have and that's coming back. Let's restart the engines just like we did in September after that first start. Let's go again. Let's take it one game at a time. And let's get more out of the players that we do have available because let us not forget, we actually still do have, quality players that can make a starting 11. No, it's not the final answer product, but we can give ourselves a very good chance of taking that full spot. And let's throw some positive inspiration from that we can, go again, and end the season off on a high.
All right. Yeah, from my part is I just wish they can do a Wenger, which what he did with Ozil in the last the January Ozil came to us.
Edmund is desperate for signing.
I'm really desperate. Any person that has got some potential in
Yeah,
terms of their
yeah,
history, because I mean Arthur
yeah.
Mello, he's got good history. Bruno Guimaraes, he's got good history. Neves has got good history, and of course Wijnaldum, he's got good history. So
Oh, there's
anybody
another
that
name.
can
There's another name. Yeah, yeah. You're right.
fill in that position other than Xhaka. I must tell you that Lenny. Remember Lenny? Lenny that's on the show
Yes,
sometimes.
yes, yeah, 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 yeah.
So our very first show of this season, Lenny and I had a ice bucket challenge around Xhaka. I said
Okay.
Xhaka is not going to have a bad season, and Lenny said no, Xhaka is going to have a good season. So guess what, Lenny? So far, I'm in the running of throwing that ice bucket, that
Oh, my
ice on his head. So, but yeah, nonetheless, uh, thanks for watching Guna Matters. And of course, please, guys, if you haven't done so, subscribe to Guna Matters. And again, your opinion matters. Thank you, guys, once again for coming on the show. Always nice to have you guys. And
okay.
everybody that had comments and people that watched, and even those who are going to watch after, thank to you. And you can also still leave your comments onto Arteta Out or Arteta In and everything else that was discussed. Be blessed, be safe, social distance, mask up, and of course, sanitize whenever you can. And thank you. Guna
Thanks,
Matters
Edmund.
out.
Thanks, guys. Good
Cool.
night,
Thanks,
Cheers,
everybody.
guys.
man.
Bye
Cheers.
bye.
Cheers.